my name is Jessica, and I'm excited to welcome you to Beginner's Yoga, the abbreviated version. We're going to go ahead and start in a comfortable seat. Before you get all invested in what a comfortable seat is, I'm going to go ahead and go through a few things as I promised, based on where you're practicing. So some of you might be on carpet. I went ahead and positioned myself on carpet for those who might be in that position. If you are on carpet, you do have a yoga mat. It might be a wise idea to grab pretty thin books like these to place underneath your hands. That way you're not compromising your wrists. You're not wiggling too much. And what I do with these is I just place them laterally underneath my hands. So I can place them down on the mat like this, figure out where shoulder distance is for me, and give a little bit of wiggle room so that you can move your arms out a little bit wider than shoulder distance if necessary. Once you've found a comfortable position, you can sneak those under your mat. As you can see, I already have a yoga board underneath my mat. I went ahead and made that just because I've been practicing on carpet for a really long time, so I wanted to be sensitive and careful with my wrists. So that is one of the props that you can use if you have just a piece of wood sitting around, maybe a little bit of scrap wood to place underneath your mat. That can help with your wrists as well. Another item that you might want to grab if you know you have sensitive knees, just grab any old blanket from the house. If it's really thin like this one is, you could fold it a few times. And like I said, if you know your knees are pretty sensitive, just go ahead and take that and you'll have it in a place where your knees can be on top of that and not be in any sort of pain. So again, blanket if you would like. And then the very last thing, actually we have two more things. So second to last thing, I have two giant books. They're hardback books. I'm a nerd, so they're both Harry Potter books. This is what we have to work with. So the Half-Blood Prince and the Order of the Phoenix will be helping me out today. These will be my blocks. Of course, if you have blocks, just grab those. But you will want to make sure that they are hardback version, so that if you are to use them as blocks, they don't bend and fold. So, missing blocks? Grab some books. These may be helpful for you. They are not absolutely necessary in order to do this practice, but I wanted to give you the opportunity. And then if you know in Shavasana you want a little bit of support, also just a pillow, maybe one or two from around the house, but that is up to you. All of these props are completely optional. You can just go without props. But I wanted you all to feel supported and know that there are items around your house that can help you with your yoga practice. I think from now on through the rest of this time, we will be having more online videos of beginner yoga classes or just other yoga classes. And so I want you to feel supported. You have the things you need without having to go out and buy. So let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat. I like to sit on my knees because I tend to be very turned out. So if you're going to sit on your knees in hero's pose, separating your knees about hip distance apart and maybe placing a block or a book underneath you as you sit here. Once you arrive, hands come to the tops of your thighs. Closing your eyes and tuning in. Right now we're just sitting. We're not judging what's right or wrong. We're not altering. And we're not avoiding. We're just being. Feel your weight into the block or the book underneath you. Feeling the contact points of your body onto the floor, onto the block. And feel like you're growing a root system down into the mat. Everything in your lower body is soft. And on your next inhale, feel tall through the crown of your head. Being careful not to extend that into a sway back. Sometimes we like to lift our chest. But just feel tall, your natural height. Shoulders drop, sun's on your face. Allow your belly to soften, rising on your inhale and falling on your exhale. Maybe you begin to lengthen your inhale and your exhale. Inhaling, 2, 3, hold at the top. And exhale, 2, 3, hold at the bottom. Inhale, 2, 3, hold at the top. And exhale, 2, 3, hold at the bottom. Keep going with that thought. Inhaling even through your nose. And exhaling through your nose. Watching that your chin doesn't get involved here. You just inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Press your heart into your thumbs into your heart. Removing any tension. Maybe you think of something that you'd like to focus on today. And on your exhale, blink your eyes open. And go ahead and remove your block. And we're going to do this facing the side. Wrists beneath your shoulders and then knees beneath your hips. From here, tuck your toes underneath. Your knees again are in alignment with your hips. Your ankles are in alignment with your hips. And you're going to sit your hips over your heels, slowly walking your hands in towards your knees. You may find this is a pretty intense toe stretch, so just know that. You may find that once you get your hands up to your thighs, that this is too much. If you would like to back out just a little bit, place your hands on the mat. This is going to make this a little less intense in your feet. Just try to wake up your body here. If your hands are off the mat, bring your arms to cactus, so kind of like a goalpost. You're going to shrug your shoulders forward. Inhale up, exhale back and down. Just the shoulders and the elbows. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. Reverse. Inhale back and up. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Drop the hands. This time circle your arms forward, up, and back. And one more time. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Plant your hands, walk forward slightly, untuck your toes, and just give your feet a little shake. You should be feeling that. That's a nice, good morning one. As you're ready, knees are underneath your hips. Inhale, drop your belly, look forward. Cow. And exhale, press into the mat around your spine. Pressing your hands into the mat, your shins into the mat. Inhale, drop.
exhale, press. Inhale, cow, last one. Exhale, cat. Extend your spine long. Tuck your toes and lift your hips. Super slowly to downward facing dog. Maybe you bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you shift your hips side to side. Whatever feels good here. Right now my feet are a little wider than hip distance apart, and that feels really nice for me. Hip distance are a little wider. It's really great. Eventually find your stillness, wide fingers. Gaze to your toes. Inhale, look to your hands. And then on your exhale, take as many steps as you'd like to the front of your mat. Forward fold when you get there. Let your head hang heavy. Hold on to opposite elbows. And maybe we just nod the head yes, and shake it no. Finding that full, big belly breath that you found earlier, maybe closing your eyes, just feeling good. It can feel really nice to sway here, side to side. And bending your knees so that your belly comes onto your thighs. Inhale. Exhale, release your grasp. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to your shins, feet are about hip distance apart. You're going to find that same long spine as you found when we were on our hands and knees. And on your exhale, forward fold, finding your bend in the knees again. Bend even more to roll through your spine, one vertebra at a time. My head's going to be chopped off, but it's cool. Inhale, arms overhead. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe closing your eyes. This is all about you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold, hands plant like you're gonna stand on your hands. And then take your right foot, step your right foot to the back of the mat. You may have to adjust the front foot, that's totally fine. Now again, when I say stand on your hands, I mean like really press into the mat here. So we're not just chilling, we're really active here. And then my back leg, I'm pressing back behind me. As if I'm already in a plank. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot to plank position. Inhale. Exhale, knees lower. Chest stays wide. Exhale, you lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Just the chest off the mat. You could remove your hands if you needed to. Exhale. And then I add a little breath. Inhale. Lift up to your knees. And on your exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward dog. When you're in downward dog, look towards your feet. Fingers are wide, and your ribs hug in. Just like you're staying in an exhale. Nothing forced. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, hug your right knee into your chest, floating your shoulders over your wrists. From here, step your right foot between your hands. It's okay if you need to grab it or wiggle your foot. And step your left foot in to meet your right. Forward fold. Let your head go. Remember the bend in your knees. This protects your lower back. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Again, bend your knees, roll through your spine. Reach all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, Bend your knees. Left foot steps to the back of the mat this time. Again, super strong arms. Engaging your inner thigh. Your left inner thigh to be clear. Inhale. Exhale, step your right foot back to meet your left. Inhale, stay strong. Exhale, lower your knees. And you lower to the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up to your knees. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward dog. Remember, your knees do not have to be straight here. Your heels do not have to touch the mat. This is your practice. My heels generally don't touch the mat unless I'm in a really short downward dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Toes face the mat. Exhale, knee hugs into your chest. You float forward. Plant your left foot. Make your adjustments. Right foot steps in to meet the left. Forward fold, let it go. Return to your breath. Be greedy with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees. Roll through your spine. Reach your arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, we should be building some really good heat now. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant, step back, downward facing dog. From here, lower your knees to the mat. We're gonna come to child's pose. It is your choice how far apart you would like your knees or how close together. But your big toes are gonna come to touch and your knees are gonna separate a little bit. We begin by inhaling super tall. And then exhaling, walk your hands away from your knees. Maybe from here, you engage your lats. Pull them down and in toward your spine. Breathing in through the crown of your head, where the connection between your forehead and the mat occurs. In, 2, 3, hold. And exhale, 2, 3, hold. Inhale, 2, 3, hold. And exhale, 2, 3, hold. On your next exhale, walk your hands back in towards your knees. Now, I found this variation of thread the needle and I love it. Normally speaking, you'll do thread the needle in a puppy pose, but this one is in child's pose, which just gets a different part of your spine. So you're gonna plant your right hand and then you're gonna cross your left hand beneath your right arm. Then slowly walk both fingertips, all fingertips, away from where they started. Allow your head to lower to the mat. Press your right hand into the mat. So the idea is that we're really twisting here. You can use your left hand and press into the mat as well. So we're getting just a really lovely twist. Breathing well. Inhale. And exhale, walk your right hand back towards center. Palm is planted. It helps you come up to a seated position. Other side, so right hand threads underneath your left arm. You're gonna walk your left hand forward. You're gonna walk your right hand away from you. And come all the way down to the mat. Again, pressing into your arms to really rotate through your spine.
That's a little weird because I'm talking away from you, so I'm going to take a pause. But you stay exactly where you are in your thread the needle. Breathing in
And out. Breathing in.
and out. Slowly walk your left hand back in towards you.
Press into your hand to come up once more. Again to tabletop position. Tuck your toes and lift your hips, downward dog. Inhale, right leg up to sky. Exhale, bend your right knee. Stack your right hip on top of your left and open up, feeling weight through your right hand. Maybe you circle your ankle. You can do knee circles here. It's up to you, whatever seems nice. Inhale, lengthen your leg. Exhale, hug your knee into your chest, float forward like before. Step your foot between your hands. Now this might be a moment where you might want your blanket for your back knee. It's gonna be a little sensitive if you're not on carpet or if you're on a board. So from here, we're gonna come into a crescent lunge variation, 90-degree angle with your front knee, 90 with the back leg. And then from here, right hand to your right hip, lift your left hand tall, inhale tall, and squeeze your left glute. I already did it, you might have already seen it. So squeeze your left glute, lift up through your left hand. And on your exhale, slight curve over to the right. Sun on your face. Breathing well. Lowering your left shoulder. Inhale up. Exhale, hands plant. Let's frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Remember that same position that we found earlier with our low crescent lunge. Left hand plants on the ground, right hand lifts up to the sky. On your exhale, right hand lowers inside of your right foot now. Walk your right foot over to the outside edge of your mat. Toes face a little bit away from you. And this is where you can lower your back knee. Maybe you find your blanket, maybe you don't. Either way, lizard's pose. Now you can lower your back knee like I said. You can also lower onto your elbows. You can find a handy dandy block or book and lower onto that instead. The very last variation I'll give you is if you'd like a little more of a stretch, you can take your right hand and hold on to your left foot, pressing your hips into or towards the mat. Inhale. And exhale, release. Plant your hands. Step back, downward dog. Make your choice. Either you stay in downward dog, flow through your vinyasa, the chain of events, or else you lower into child's pose. If you're flowing, I'll go with you. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, low. Inhale, upward facing, cobra. Exhale. Inhale, up to your knees. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left. And then exhale, bend your left knee. Stack your left hip on top of your right. Maybe you find those ankle circles again. Or the knee circles, whatever you'd like. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, hug your left knee into your chest. Step between your hands. Lower your back knee. We're going to find our 90-degree angles again. This time, left hand to left hip.
Inhale, reach tall through your right hand. And then exhale, stay. Squeeze your right glute to press your right hip forward. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, curve over to the left side slightly. Keeping your shoulders even. Inhale, up. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Back toes tuck, back knee lifts. Inhale, lift your left arm up to sky, revolving. Exhale, plant your left hand. This time, walk your left foot out towards the left corner of the mat. Toes turn away from you. Both hands on the inside of your left foot. Lower your back knee, lizard pose. Either sit tall, find your block, or else grab onto your back foot like you did on the other side, if you did that on the other side. Finding whatever works for you. Working through your variations. Dropping your hips towards the mat. On your exhale, release, plant your hands. Lift your back knee, downward facing dog. Inhale to high plank, optionally always. Exhale, you lower. Inhale, cobra. Heart shines through. Exhale. Inhale, press up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, lower your knees to the mat, maybe finding your blanket. We're gonna come into camel pose. So your knees are gonna be hip distance apart. Hip distance is gonna be enough for an imaginary block, if you will. So about here, just straight up and down, right below your hips. Your toes can be tucked or untucked. I wanna talk through this one just a little bit so that we stay honoring our bodies. So either you can place your hands at the back of your spine, base of your spine, with your fingertips facing up, or you can face your fingertips down like they're in your back pockets. For me, this kind of rounds my shoulders forward, so I prefer to place my fingers up towards my spine because that encourages this back bend. So, and that's exactly what this is. This is going to be a back bending series. So, fingertips face up the spine, and then your very first step is to press your hips to an imaginary wall. You're going to open your chest and use your hands to press your hips forward. Use your glutes to press your hips forward. And then from here, a slight heart opening. Not going too far for this first one. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly coming up and lowering all the way down to a seated position. We're going to do that one more time. Actually, maybe 2 more times. And then we'll be done with it. So you can do exactly what we just did with a slight back bend, barely a look up, keeping your gaze almost a little more forward than back, or else you can continue on. If you're ready to continue on, come up onto your knees. Find your finger placement, hand placement, pressing your hips forward, engaging your glutes, opening your heart, and then maybe looking up towards the ceiling. It's very important that you stay engaged through your glutes so that we honor our low back. Breathing well. And then exhale, slowly sit back. Release your hands. Long spine. On this last one, I'm going to take you just a little bit further. So inhale, come up to your knees. Place your hands And this time, tuck your toes. If you'd like to go farther, you can always stop at any of the variations that we've done so far. You can also decide, this is not my pose, right? Totally fine. This is your practice. So engage your glutes, press forward, slight look up, heart open, shoulders open. And then from here, maybe you take your right hands to your right heel, and then your left hand to your left heel. And then from here, pressing slightly forward again. Maybe look to the back wall. Maybe that's not fun for you. And you can look forward. Wherever you are, maintaining your breath. And on your exhale, begin to walk your hands back up onto your sacrum. Super slowly. Come into a seated position, like you're putting down fine china. Really nice. Remove your blanket. Plant your hands. Tuck your toes, downward dog. This is a great counter pose for all back bending. Inhale. And exhale. Bend your knees, come to a seated position. Nothing fancy, just make your way to your seat. And from here, we're going to rock back onto our backs. Hold on to your shins and take a little trip back. Hug your knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side. Inhale. Exhale, plant your feet. Inhale, lift your right foot to sky. Exhale, figure four or reclined pigeon pose. So you're going to allow your ankle to clear your thigh. So you don't want to have your foot doing a weird thing up here. You want to clear that and keep your right foot flexed. Inhale. Exhale, maybe you reach through the leg and hold on to your left shin. Maybe that's a little much and you just want to hold on to your left hamstring. Placing your left foot on the mat if it's a little too aggressive at this point. On your inhale, straighten your right leg up. Exhale, lower it to the mat. Inhale, other side, left leg lifts. Exhale, cross it over the right. As you're ready, maybe you hug your right knee into your chest. Again, maybe grabbing your shin or your hamstring, whatever you held on to on the other side, but recognizing that one side will be different from the other. Reclined pigeons pose. Inhale. Exhale your right foot to the mat. Inhale, lift your left. Exhale, lower it to the mat. Inhale, hug your knees into center. Maybe rocking from side to side. Kind. Hug. Inhale. Exhale, allow your right hands to guide your knees over to the right. Supine twist. Arms open into a T. Both shoulders are on the mat or reaching towards it. Maybe you look away from your knees. Closing your eyes. Inhale, hug your knees into center. Everything moving super slowly. Inhale. Exhale, knees go over to the left. This time, your right arm opens.
Maybe you look away from your knees again. Either keeping your left hand on your knees or opening it into a T. Inhale, hug everything back in. And exhale. Give yourself one last really nice hug, lifting your head off the mat to do so. And on your exhale, extend into Shavasana. Legs go long on the mat. Palms face the ceiling. And everything is soft. If you feel any lower back tenderness, an option is to find one of the pillows that you found earlier and place it underneath your hamstrings. So you'll place your pillow and then extend your legs long. Close your eyes and stay here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Side out. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe reach your arms overhead. Make a nice stretch. And on your exhale, make your way into fetal position. Pausing here for a moment. Keeping your eyes closed, make your way into a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. When you get there, palms to your lap. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through center. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, hands down through center. Last one, inhale up. Palms together, hands to heart center. Maybe placing your hands over your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to be able to do this today, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions, or even some ideas on what else I could do to support you guys, and maybe other ways that I can share that people are supporting each other. So, anyway, really nice to have you in class today, and I'll see you soon.